We live? Hey, you guys, what is going on? We are live and we're going to be talking about how much our Texas road trip cost. Krista's going to be joining me in just a minute. She's making sure that Beckett's asleep. But we want to talk, these are all the receipts right here for every single expense that we had on this road trip. So we're going to go through this. We're going to show you where we cut costs. We're going to show you how we saved money. We're going to talk, I want to talk to you guys today about the credit cards that I use for hotel points so that we can stay at certain places for free. So very excited to talk with you guys today and hopefully teach you guys some things about how we are able to travel as a family of 5 for, gosh, I don't remember how much this road trip cost, but our next road trip, while we're waiting on Krista, let me tell you guys about that. Our next road trip, we've already taken it. We went to Florida. And we're trying to see, I haven't tallied everything up yet, but we're trying to see how much money we can do that road trip for. And we set a budget of under $500. So I'm really curious. I got some good tips for that. And I think after that whole road trip is live on YouTube, we might come back and do another live stream. So maybe in another month or two, we'll do another one of these live streams. So that'll be super fun. If you guys I would love to know where you guys are at. Let me know down in the comments below. And maybe let me know what state you're from or what country you're from. Like I'll put, I'm in Louisiana in the comments right now. Boom. So I'd love to know where you guys are from. And if it's your first time here, hi, we are the Travel Vlog family. We believe in building stronger family bonds with your kids through travel. So if you're interested, you might want to consider clicking that subscribe button. And if you haven't hit the bell too, definitely hit the bell. Krista is coming. She's right here. And we're going to get started. Yeah, you can. It should be all right. Or you can open the door, whichever. All right.
Does that mess up the lighting?
No, it should be all right.
Okay.
Natural light's always good. Makes us both look beautiful. Makes you look more beautiful than me.
I don't know if we need light for that.
All right. So we have our, like I was saying, our road trip receipts right here. And on this road trip, let's see, we started, this is the one where we went to San Antonio and all that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I have all the receipts.
Right.
So we started that road trip, obviously, at our house. And one thing that we do to cut costs is we try to bring, in particular, like food and snacks and all that type of stuff, we try to bring as much as we can from the house so that it doesn't go bad. And that's kind of where Krista excels. You want to talk to him about like what types of things you look for whenever you pack, and
we're talking about traveling to an Airbnb or hotel or just on the road.
Let's do both. Let's start with, we'll see, this first leg, we were going to a hotel because we stopped in Katy, Texas. And then immediately after that, we went to San Antonio to an Airbnb. So cover both.
Okay. So you want to know what kind of stuff we bring from the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we
or if we buy something before we leave.
Okay. All right. Well, if we're traveling to a hotel and it's going to be a long drive, then we definitely pack lunch with us. And so we do, like, we call them mom Lunchables.
Yeah.
Lunchables are kind of pricey for the amount of food you get, and they're not very healthy. So we pack little Tupperwares with crackers and cheese and meat, and I cut it into squares so it looks like a Lunchable.
Mm-hmm.
And we add vegetables and fruits to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes if we have like Halloween candy in the cabinet or a few little like cookies or something, I'll add a little treat in there. And so we'll bring that so that the kids can have lunch. And Lane and I will usually eat a sandwich, or now we're on
a keto carnivore diet, so it's
so
meat
just
and cheese.
meat and cheese and vegetables for me. But
yeah.
So just lots of cut up vegetables. We bring lots of car snacks.
Mm-hmm.
We try to bring things that are not going to be super messy.
And that either the night before or that morning, I go to the bulk ice place and I get a big giant bag of ice because we pack an ice chest full of food that we can eat for the next few days. You want to go into that?
Yeah, we'll say that we, right before that Texas trip, we purchased a Dodge Grand
Caravan. Yeah.
And the minivan is a game changer. So we can fit a full-size ice chest plus all of our packed like clothes and baby stuff or whatever, and then still have room to fit the children.
Right.
Which is,
Giovanni wants to know what's your daughter's favorite vegetable.
Amelia?
Yeah.
It depends on if we're talking cooked or raw. Our kids eat a lot of vegetables.
They
are
do.
not super. It'd almost be easier for me to tell you what they don't like.
What they don't like, right?
They don't like zucchini and squash.
Like those any type of squash type of thing. Yeah, they really eat.
That's about it. Like our kids eat.
Sprouts?
Our kids eat. No, they eat Brussels sprouts. They eat broccoli. They like raw carrots, raw celery, cucumbers.
Yeah. Spinach. They don't like spinach that much.
They'll eat it if I ask them to cook.
Yeah,
but they'll eat spinach in a salad, like raw spinach.
Right.
So our kids are pretty good eaters.
So what's in the ice chest? Let's go that route. Now that we have this minivan.
Cut apples, lots and lots of cut apples, because our kids will eat the heck out of that.
They do.
When we travel.
Chad, we are safe and healthy. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's see what else. If we're making sandwiches, then we pack condiments.
Yeah.
We will I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else. Like
drinks, usually, if we don't have water cups. I like to bring Topo Chico, so we'll put some of that in there. We'll put
sparkling water, bottles of sparkling water for Lane. But everybody in our family drinks water.
Yeah.
So
for the most part, it's just bring your water bottle and we'll fill it up along the way type of thing.
We throw a jug or two of water in the back so we can fill up cups.
Those applesauce pouch things too. Yeah. Those are good road snacks as well.
Not for
Beckett though. Either one, they're not gonna like them, or two, they're gonna squeeze it and get it all over the place.
But for the big kids,
Yeah.
Giovanni asked a question.
Oh. Does she like broccoli and peas and Brussels sprouts? Yes, yes, and yes.
Our kids love peas, and I eat every vegetable under the sun except for beets, and peas are not, like cooked peas are not my favorite, which is weird that our kids love peas when it's like the one thing that I really don't like much, but I cook it for them, and
do we have any upcoming videos on new products to review? I do a video every day on my Dad Reviews channel. If you guys want to check that out, it's a little different from what we're talking about today. And I want to talk to you guys today a little bit later on about some of the cards that we're using to get hotel points as a way that we can stay at hotels for nothing or super cheap. So we'll be getting into that a little bit later in the live stream. Now, one thing that we do that whenever we arrive at a hotel, we usually just, since we're usually getting there around evening time, we just go out to dinner that one night.
Oh yeah. The only time we will try to, even if we're in the hotel that has a kitchen, we still usually go pick something. Now, let's clarify. We have a 2-year-old. We pick stuff up and eat in our hotel room.
Right.
We're not doing a whole lot of dining out these days because Beckett's kind of a holy terror.
We went to... Where were we? We went to that bear. That was in Katy, Texas. That Bear Diner. Black Bear Cafe. Black Bear Diner. I think that's what it was. But they had, we ended up eating at that restaurant. But whenever we were in Austin, we decided that the kids needed to run around and burn some energy, and they had a swimming pool there. And so we went to that Kirby Lane something cafe.
We didn't go there. You picked it up.
I went and picked it up, and we brought it outside to the swimming pool area, and that was a great idea.
So as soon as we got in the room, we got the kids in their suits, and I brought them down to the pool, and then I placed an order for our meal, and then Lane went and picked it up, and then we had dinner by the pool, which also doesn't mess up our hotel room as much.
Right, exactly. So another way that we cut costs whenever we are traveling, then this is something new that we're kind of doing, is stopping at some roadside attractions. And so this is great because it lets your kids be able to get out and burn a little bit of energy, but it's also something fun, at least for me. I don't know if it's too fun for...
It depends on what it is.
Depends on what it is.
Sometimes I have fun.
Yeah, like in Katy, Texas, we did the longest car wash in the world.
Everybody in the family enjoyed
enjoyed that. But then whenever we got to the pecan outside of the courthouse.
Yeah, the world's largest pecan is not exciting.
The one by the courthouse. There's a few of them out there. But the one that had the Nutcracker museum next to it, that was really interesting. Yeah. And that was a surprise for us too. We didn't realize whenever we're going from Katy to San Antonio, I knew about this one called the world's largest mobile pecan or whatever. And that was fun. I didn't think it was going to be fun because I thought it was just going to be this statue thing. But then whenever we got there, it was also attached to this Nutcracker museum, in which they had, like I saw in the video, over 8,000 nutcrackers, which was super cool.
And the kids got to crack pecans and to taste them.
And to learn how different crackers work.
Right.
That was really cool. And we got to learn different nutcrackers from around the world.
Some countries have very inappropriate.
The Naughty Nellies.
The Naughty Nellies, yeah. And then they had like local honey and praline pecan. So we got to get a little treat.
So one expense that does come with whenever we stop at roadside attractions, at least, is that we try to pay, and especially the smaller places, for something that we can use on the road trip. So
but not buy anything frivolous. Like we don't buy souvenirs.
Right. Exactly. So whenever we stopped at Buc-ee's, we had to get our first tank of gas, which was $17 right there. And then we stopped, let's see, this was, what was this? $40 in Katy, Texas?
Katy Freeway. It says freeway, so something right after the thing.
Right. Oh, was that dinner? That may have been dinner at the diner.
You sure dinner, I feel like, would have been more than $40.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, no, because look, it says tip.
Yeah. Look, it was actually $33.39, and then we added on the tip. Yeah. So this was dinner that night.
Buc-ee's.
Oh.
Look.
Buc-ee's. Yeah, I see that.
This is.
What is this?
It's a restaurant because there's an $8 tip.
Okay.
The only place you leave a tip is at a restaurant. Or we get a massage, and we definitely did.
That had to have been that one there, the Black Bear Diner. And then whenever we were at Buc-ee's doing the longest car wash in the world, this was all of the snacks that they had to buy along with the car wash.
Have to buy.
You have to buy. Well, the kids got those fun little yogurt cup things that they ate at the park. And then we got a bunch of beef jerky and what. You don't remember that? Those little cake things?
I'm a big fan of the snacks while we're traveling.
Yeah. And then at the Pecan House, which was also the Nutcracker Museum, we bought like honey pecans.
Praline pecans, like chocolate covered pecans.
Right. And that cost $16.75 right there. So, the roadside attractions are not, they can be totally free, but you probably have a little bit more fun if you do spend a little bit to have, to get some snacks for the kids and whatnot. I recently brought a Keurig single cup coffee maker, and I like it. It works great. I used it a couple of times. I also like all of the roadside attractions you visit on your road trips. Awesome. The Keurig, I remember James Chick. He's the one he had a Keurig machine that we got a chance to review, and we've used those before, and we really like them. Yeah. He is traveling in an RV on the road, and I'm amazed that they bring that big giant machine in their RV.
People gotta have their coffee.
Right.
I'm a tea drinker, so.
Yep.
I don't need a Keurig really, but
it's tea time.
Yeah.
Tea time.
Giovanni asked where our kids are. So Beckett is taking a nap.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Amelia's
playing with Legos, and Jacques is playing
a game.
Star Wars game online.
Your kids like Star Wars? All right, so we made it to, let's see, we talked about, let's talk about breakfast, because due to COVID, the Marriott's, which is where we stayed at, because we had points through our Marriott Bonvoy card, due to COVID, they didn't have a hot breakfast.
Which is something like not during COVID, we purposely stay at hotels that have good breakfast.
Right.
Because we want to be able to walk out of our room, eat breakfast, and then get going.
As soon as possible. We don't want to have to make that extra stop.
But we soon learned after a couple of hotel stops that most of the hotels have really awful breakfast right now. Like a paper sack with a granola bar and an apple in it. And that's just not going to cut it. Yeah. Especially for Lane and I, who are not eating carbohydrates.
Right.
So we make sure that we always have a refrigerator in our room. Mm-hmm. That's like a
must.
That's a must for us because we have kids.
And we bring that ice chest full of stuff, and there's some things that just need to be refrigerated.
Right. So if you have a fridge and a microwave, we can usually feed our kids pretty easily. I will make a quick trip to a grocery store and get like breakfast sandwiches, or like you can buy pancakes that you heat up in the microwave, pancakes and sausage. And we always have fruit with us. And so that takes care of that. I can usually find some kind of egg and meat thing in the freezer section. That's not like a breakfast that we would eat at home normally, but it's better than eating junk. We also don't mind breakfast at McDonald's. And I'll tell you that we are not fast food people. Unless we absolutely have to. And we are definitely not McDonald's people. But if you got to eat a meal at McDonald's, they have decent breakfast. And we can get... If you're getting like eggs and sausage and bacon type stuff. Lane, you know, like 3 or 4 servings of eggs and 2 sausage patties. I'll order something similar for me. The kids will order whatever they want, pancake. And then for like $20, we can feed everybody breakfast. So that's been really good. Whenever you're in a rush and the hotel can't provide for you. But usually the hotel breakfasts are really good. Yeah, Marriott breakfast is really good. And actually, this wasn't a part of this trip, which we'll probably cover in another live stream in a couple of months, but we stayed at some Hiltons because we also have a Hilton card. Was it a Hilton? Yeah, that was a Hilton where they had the microwavable sandwiches and wraps and all that. Hilton has the best COVID breakfast right now. Yeah, absolutely. Or at least the Hiltons that we have stayed at. Home to suites. Yeah. Those have been really good. Sandwiches that they pop in the microwave. They've had cereal for the kids. They actually have a person manning the breakfast items so that they can still feed you breakfast. But anyway, the other places. You really like bacon jerky. I've never tried bacon jerky before. We should try that. And that would be good for a road trip as well. So we made it to San Antonio and we have our Airbnb and we got there. It was mid-afternoon, I'd say. And you went to the grocery store. So remember that? In San Antonio. Oh, yeah, because we stayed at an Airbnb. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're at that Airbnb. Right. And so tell us, we've just traveled for 2 days. Whenever you go to a grocery store, what do you kind of look for? What are you doing there? I am trying to find the meals that cook quickly and require the fewest ingredients. Yes. So tacos is always like number one. Fish you did one night while we were there. What kind of fish? I think it was salmon. The kids ate that? No, I think it was for me and you. Oh, so we had leftover taco stuff for the kids. Yes, Lane that's what it was. Like just pan-seared salmons really quick. Sometimes we'll make hamburgers. We'll I just kind of look through what's available at the grocery store and see if I can find something like steaks that cook really quickly. You just have to sear. Right. And so just to give you guys an idea, the Airbnb that we stayed at in San Antonio cost $253 right there. For how many nights? That was for 3 nights. Which is great. That's way cheaper than a hotel. And if you think about food that way too, is at the grocery store, we only spent $123 at the grocery store. But some of that food we took with us to our next destination. And that covers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you break that up by 9 meals, I mean, that's super cheap. Yeah. That's like $10 a meal, a little over $10 a meal. I'm trying to remember. Oh, so I did like boneless, skinless chicken thighs and pasta. And I made like I bought sun-dried tomato pesto. And so we had chicken and pasta with pesto one night. And usually Airbnbs have a good amount of pans and stuff that you can cook with. They have enough that you need. Yeah. Like I can't remember us being anywhere where I didn't have something that I needed. Right. They'll have a pot that you can boil water in. They'll have a skillet that we can cook breakfast in. And they usually have a couple of spices as well left. We don't bring salt and pepper with us. That's usually there. Right. You love salmon. It's your favorite fish. Yeah, I love salmon too. In fact, I had some last night. So that's kind of the food. I mean, unless we're picking up like snacks, or did we eat anywhere in San Antonio? I think we cooked all those meals. I think we cooked every single meal. We almost exclusively eat bacon and eggs. Right. Yeah. I'll make pancakes or muffins or something for the kids. But Giovanni wants to know, what is Amelia's favorite food? Are we talking sweets? Are we talking ice cream? Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Pizza? Give us some more context there. Our kids, if you ask our kids what their favorite food is, they're going to give you some pretty typical kid answers. However, our kids don't eat a ton of like junk food. Look, I lied. We ate out one place.
whenever we went to the Riverwalk.
Oh, we went to Margaritaville.
We went to Margaritaville, and we spent a little more than what we wanted to. We were hungry, though, then, I remember.
We walked way longer than we expected, and everybody was hot, and it was the middle of summer.
Yeah, it was middle of summer. That was June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like that was a necessity for everyone's sanity.
We spent $70 there. So
we fed everybody a meal.
Yeah, we fed everyone. We actually had some leftovers, too, that we brought, and they ate the next day for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Krista had to get some tea at the tea shop that we went to down there as well.
This is a really nice tea shop in San Antonio, and I had previously gone for a teaching conference and bought tea there. And so
this is technically an expense because it's something that she just like took home. It's almost like a souvenir, if you will.
This counts as, but it's a very useful souvenir.
It's a very useful souvenir, but that was $32, something that we spent.
Our credit card number is not on it.
No, they always X them out. We got some more gas, $25, another tank there. What was this? That
was ice cream on this. That was the same day we went to Margarita.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I tell you, we were hot and cranky.
We had, yeah. If we're spending money, we're hot and cranky.
Yeah. Our vacation rule is if anybody's in a bad mood, we just get ice cream.
That's true.
That makes everything better.
So we spent $14 on some ice cream there. We went to the Tower of the Americas. That's one thing with the San Antonio trip where we spent a lot of money is with doing activities. Did you notice that? I don't
keep track of the money, but
we did the Natural Bridge Caverns and the Wildlife Ranch that went along with that. That was I don't have the receipt for that one. I have it for the bridge. The cave was $76, and then we had to pay extra.
This is not the Wildlife Ranch right there. It says Wildlife Ranch.
Oh yeah, I meant the cavern. This is the Wildlife Ranch. Just to get into the... Oh, wait, no, we paid for these together, didn't we?
I think we bought them together, but side note, we would avoid going places, those safaris where you feed animals.
Yeah.
If they're not letting you feed the animals during COVID, then it's definitely
really not worth it.
Lane and I went to that Wildlife Ranch 10 years ago, and it was phenomenal where the animals eat out of you. They're trying to get in your vehicle to eat the food out of your hand, and it was so much fun. And then we went during COVID, and the animals just are eating on the side of the road.
Yeah, because they just have a Jeep or whatever drive through and sprinkle stuff on the side of the road so that the animals would actually come to the road so you could actually see them and semi-interact with them. I mean, the best thing about it was the I can't remember the name of the animal, the horns that brushed up against the van right whenever we got there. They were like trying to keep.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. But that was like the extent of the excitement that was there whenever it came to actually interacting.
After that trip, we definitely evaluate if COVID rules are going to change an experience, and if that determines if we're going to pay for it or not.
Right. And then we did the Tower of the Americas, which was the tallest tower in San Antonio. That cost $50 and $56, and then there was also $6 for parking that we had to pay for as well.
That
was fun though. We
spent a lot of time there.
We were there for like 3 hours or something, I want to say.
I think it was fun because there was not a lot of people there, so our kids could kind of do whatever they wanted.
They kind of ran around.
They could run around.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to do there. That 4D theater.
Mm-hmm, which kids are terrified.
Right, but they turned off all the 4D stuff due to COVID.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They had some arcade games that the kids went and got quarters for, and they had fun. Oh look, lunch and dinner is what they want to know.
Amelia's favorite.
For Amelia,
if you have to ask her anything she wanted, she'd probably say pizza or spaghetti. Or and also though, our kids we're pretty adventurous cookers. I'm an adventurous, but we're adventurous eaters, and so my kids, I cooked Thai coconut red curry chicken soup last night, and they thought it was delicious.
Delicious, right?
Like Asian beef with sesame noodles, and so that's like some of our kids' favorite things.
Right.
They are pretty.
If you start them young, trying different things, they'll like more than what you think, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, we went and got popsicles one day. That was another.
Oh, that because we went to the tea gardens.
Yes, and it was super hot outside after.
And so then we went and got ice cream.
So we went and got $15 worth of ice cream there.
Those are some. That was a local place though.
Yeah, that was a local place.
With handmade, super delicious popsicles.
Yeah. So that was good. That's pretty much. This is the ice that we paid for to put into the ice chest. That's $248. So that's pretty much the cost of the San Antonio portion of the trip there. and the little bit to get to there. Let's see. The next place we stopped was actually in San Marcos, which is just a day trip that we went to as we were going to Austin, and that was totally free. How did we even find that place? Were we looking for a spot to?
We were looking for like a park to go to.
Uh-huh.
And we found out that they had all the parks there are on the river.
Yeah. No, we were looking for something to do in San Antonio because all the state parks were closed.
Oh, and this was outside.
And we found that one and we said, oh, this is on the way to Austin. So we can go do that. And it was just a public park, totally free. If you want to get a tube, you can pay, I don't know, probably like $5 or $10. I don't know exactly because we didn't get them. Yeah, you can rent a tube to go tubing down the river. But we just went and played in the river, and that was a lot of fun. But then we made it to Austin. And Austin was super. We were there for only 2 days, though. And this one we got a hotel for because we were planning on staying at a VRBO, which is like an Airbnb. It's a vacation rental VR by owner.
Lots of people in Florida use VRBO, and we have friends that have properties.
I think we just got a bad one.
I know, it was bad.
Yeah. So whenever we got there, we pulled in. And Amelia was the first one to get out to go to the place, and she opened the door, right? And somebody was in there?
I was looking up the code because the door should have been locked.
Right.
And she turned the door handle, and the door opened, and there was someone sitting right there by the door, and they shut the door. And obviously there shouldn't be a person in the rental that you're about to stay in.
Right. So Krista comes back to the van and she's like,
we are not
Lane, no, we got to go.
Well, and also as we pulled in, it was not in a nice part of town.
Yeah, we should have did a little bit more research as to where the location of it was.
We've altered our research now.
Yeah.
And I made it extra bad because Jacques really had to pee.
Oh, yeah.
And so we immediately left and went to the first thing we saw, which was a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, we still went to the parking lot, and Jacques went to use the bathroom.
You brought him in. Well, that makes it sound like you peed in the parking lot. Lane brought him inside to potty.
Uh-huh.
And I got on the phone with Marriott and used our points.
Yeah, we have points with Marriott. And so we opened up. We actually did this. We started doing this for our Pensacola trip a few years back. I started hearing about travel hacking and how to use points, reward points on cards to be able to get hotel stays on points. And the way it works is you open up a credit card, and then they usually have a sign-up bonus. And if you spend anywhere from like $500 to, I think somewhere as high as like $5,000, but usually we stay around the $1,000 to $2,000 mark in the first 3 months, then they give you like a whole ton of hotel points. And I was reading about a whole bunch of these people who were doing this type of stuff. And I was like, this is really interesting. I just want to check it out. And so I got this choice privileges card, which I liked it because they worked with a lot of hotels. It looks like this right here, choice privileges. And I think we spent $500. We got the points. And then we were able to do that whole Pensacola trip. I think it was 4 nights. And we didn't pay for a single hotel stay.
And we actually stayed in a
suite.
A suite. Yeah, it was like an apartment.
Yeah, it had like 2 stories and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
So once I learned about that, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. My friend Phil told me a little bit more about it. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Hey, Al, how's it going? My friend Phil told me about the Marriott card and how he really, really likes Marriott. So I was like, okay, let me check it out. They had 100,000 point bonus sign up, and it was like a special because I think they usually do 80. So I jumped on that. I think whenever we do this, we always make sure that we have the money already in our bank account so that whenever the credit card bill statement comes in, we just apply the money to it, pay off the account in full. We don't get any interest. There's usually no fees on the cards, although there is. I think that one has a fee, but it's like it's $95
for the year.
But every year they give you a free hotel night. So you actually come out better. So that Austin trip, thank goodness we had this card, so we got all those points because we got to Austin, we had that happen, and then Krista was able to get on the phone and she was able to find a place and book it, and nothing came out of our pocket because we had that. It's almost like a safeguard in place, really.
Right, and it was our favorite hotel that we've ever stayed in with our kids.
Yeah, well, it's probably the one that we've used the most points on as well.
Right. Yeah.
We usually try to stay around the 12,000 point range, which
Per
is
night,
yeah, which is just kind of your basic hotel room. You may have like a microwave and a fridge type of thing, but this one, how much?
Oh, we had a bonus though, so we
had our yearly credit, our state, because we've had it for a year.
25,000 free points.
Yes,
and so we basically paid for 2 nights and got a 3rd night free.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we got a little bit of there was like somewhat of an upgrade there because we had like the 2 rooms as y'all saw in the video with the big bathroom and all that type of stuff. So so that was really great.
And we don't use VRBO anymore.
Well, we haven't tried them again.
I'm a little nervous.
Well, what if they want to sponsor something?
The thing, I don't know. The thing that was the most scary to me is that the pictures of that place
looked really nice.
Nothing like what they actually are. Nothing like what the actual place was like. Like
the outside of the place.
This was an apartment complex that like we would have not entered at night.
Right.
Like as soon as we pulled in, I was like, Lane,
we were a little leery. We were getting out, check it out.
Lane was like, let's just go inside and look. And then there was the whole mix up with they double booked the room and all that.
It was almost a blessing in disguise, right?
Yeah.
Because we found this super awesome hotel that we got to stay at.
They had a really great pool. Like Kimberly said, did you guys check out the Kalahari Resort in Round Rock? Did we do something that was right next to that?
I don't think so.
I feel like I remember.
Have you heard of Kalahari before? It's like Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh. We definitely didn't do that, but I wish we had known about it.
I don't know where Round Rock is, though. Is that near Austin?
It's gotta be. That's
oh my God, I'm from Austin and Round Rock, Texas. Yeah.
I feel like we were in Round Rock at some point. Like,
or we heard about it or something. There may have been a state park there. But in Austin, while we were in Austin, there was mainly 2 activities that we did there. Due to COVID, a lot of the state parks and whatnot were closed. But the activities that we did, there was the McKinney Roughs, which is like a big hiking area, and it leads down to the Colorado River. And so we took that hike all the way down there.
That was the longest.
That was a long hike.
Hardest hike.
And I was so surprised our kids were able to make it.
I don't know how we made it. I was carrying Beckett in an Ergo baby carrier.
Right.
And it was like a 4-mile round trip hike. And it was like,
it was hot.
Like it was hot, and on the way back, it was completely like uphill for a good 1.5 miles. It was really, really hard.
Right, but on the way to the Colorado River, it was more shaded, and then we saw
a hard hike.
Yeah, it was still a hard hike, but then we saw the path coming back is shorter. Let's take this, and then I remember that the lady in the visitor center told us that path is like in the direct sun. So we was uphill. That was rough.
But I'm glad that we did it.
And that was fun. I enjoyed wading in the river and whatnot.
What else did we do? We went to that other place in Austin where we went and played
the waterfall place, the Twin Falls. Which the McKinney Roughs portion, we had to pay $10 to get in there. $10 as nothing. I mean, super cheap. For how long were we there for too? Hours.
I'm pretty sure we packed a lunch that day.
Right, and then the Twin Falls place, parking is just on the side of the road. I'm pretty sure it's just an open public park, but there is like a short hike that you take to get there.
Which is it. It was kind of rough having Beckett in the carrier.
Yeah,
it wasn't super easy.
It's not like it's not paved or anything, but there's a lot of people coming and going, so you kind of can get an idea of where you're going. At one point, I think a guy made a joke about being lost, and I was like, "Yeah, we're all lost." So that was pretty much the activities that we did in Austin, besides doing lots of swimming, since we had access to the hotel swimming pool. And that's the one where we went and got that dinner, and that was a $32 dinner.
They had it was a thing like kids eat free or something.
Oh, was that what it was?
Or look, $0.
Yeah, $0. Yeah.
We happened to just stumble upon like a
awesome.
I think because of COVID, their business had slowed down, and so you got a free kids meal with every entree.
Right.
And so that's a big money saver.
I don't remember. We went back to the store in Austin, another grocery store, and we only spent $15.
You obviously needed Topo Chico.
Topo Chico as a must. We got ice,
shredded cheese, peaches.
Oh, we were getting, I bet, stuff to go.
Cilantro rice. No, I cooked that meal in our hotel room because
Oh,
we had a
that's
full
right.
kitchen.
We had a full kitchen in there. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So I cooked steak and like we made steak tacos.
Yeah, yeah. So that.
And the next night I cooked shrimp.
Oh, that wasn't $14. That was how much we saved. We spent
Yeah.
$65
I was gonna say
on
that was
that
a couple
meal.
of nights.
Yeah. So so food there was $65 plus the one meal that we took out. Oh, Mike, thank you so much for that super chat. $19.99. Appreciate that. Love you guys. Hey, dude, thank you so much too for the Mike Vance knife.
Is that the knife you sliced your hand open with?
It is. But this is the knife that Mike sent to our P.O. box, and I use it on my other channel for all of our unboxing videos. And I think I keep the other one in the car.
And didn't he send Jacques a Swiss Army knife?
Yeah, he did. He sent Jacques that little Swiss Army knife. You're a lucky man. Krista's so pretty. None of my teachers look like her. She is. She's beautiful, and I'm a very lucky man.
Tomorrow that you said that.
So, the next part of the trip, we were going from. Sorry, they were going from Austin. They can hear you, by the way.
I know, but I was trying to be quiet about it.
We were going from Austin. Do y'all know what she said? Let me know in the comments below. We were going from Austin to Galveston.
Yeah, going to the beach.
And we stopped at a few roadside attractions there as well. The world's largest shovel. That was such a fun. I had a great time there. Did you?
I put on my happy mom face.
You got all the kids. I was very.
Got all the kids out.
Made a great video as well. We did the tongue. We made it into a tongue twister, which was fun.
Shovel. It was
a giant shovel. It was 40 feet tall. It's the world's largest.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at Gardentopia or whatever the name of the place was. I don't remember the name of it.
It's like they sell like garden rock.
Bulk rock.
Yeah. It was not, but it was good to get out and stretch our legs.
It was. But the other part of that trip was to the other pecan place that we went to. We went to this place because it had a giant squirrel outside, right?
That was the thing. It was like a giant squirrel statue.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the thing. But it was next to this other place, which has a pie vending machine.
Like you can buy a whole
pie. It was $20, I think, if you wanted to get it.
Vending machine.
Hey, it's Amber. How's it going? So if you ever in need for a pecan pie and you're in, what place was that? Cedar Creek, Texas.
That was right outside of Austin.
Yeah, that was right outside of Austin.
These people, the people that own this place were super nice. Mm-hmm. It's a huge gift shop. You can buy a ton of stuff. They had toys. They had every kind of pecans you can think of.
Yep. They saw me doing a video outside of the squirrel.
No, I talked to the lady.
Oh, you talked to her?
I told
from the get-go?
The manager was there, and I said, "Hey, just so you know, my husband, because she looked like she was the woman in charge. My husband makes YouTube videos, and he's making a video about your place. You might want to ask him for the thing." I told you that.
I thought they were asking what I was doing.
No,
You kind of prepped them.
Yeah, I said you might want to ask him for an email or give him your email address so he can send you a link to the video.
Oh, nice.
And so we got some free merch out of it.
Little businesswoman right there. So yeah, that's the place where they gave us the 2 bags of pecans that we did the taste test for in the car, if y'all saw that video. It was a sweet and savory bag and the
spicy ones.
Yeah, and the spicy ones, which those were good. Those chocolate covered ones were super good. You remember that?
They were all delicious.
They were all delicious. But we did, since we stopped at a roadside attraction, even though we got some stuff for free, we still spent $20 in there
because we like to support local businesses.
Right. And I got the some jerky from there. Remember that really good?
Yeah.
It was like
they were like sausages.
Yeah, homegrown smoked sausage type of stuff.
That was good.
I did a taste test of it on my Dad Reviews channel, and I could not find like a legit website for him. So it's like some, guy in the back of his house probably doing something. I don't know.
Mike asked a good question. He said, "I miss traveling. Do you all worry about COVID when you travel?"
So
that's typically my department because Lane likes to forget how biology works and just pretend like, but
not totally true.
I
want to preface this by saying RV sales are up right now, and a lot of people are taking road trip type of travel right
Stay
now.
at a campground. You
don't touch.
You have to go to the grocery store, but you got to go to the grocery store if you're at your house. Right. And honestly, we do shipped for groceries at our house. We get a lot of groceries delivered from Target, and there's a local store here called Rouse's.
Mm-hmm.
We can get groceries delivered with our shipped membership anywhere we stay.
Right.
I actually think we might have even gotten a ship delivery when we were in Texas at some point.
I
We did
remember.
it in Florida.
Maybe in Florida.
kids
That'll be
is
our
coming.
next trip that
I
we'll
just
talk.
heard the
Yeah, it's
thing.
okay. Hello. You can come
Hey.
listen if you'd like.
Yeah, sit over here, okay? Somebody has to stay inside for Beckett.
Yeah, Beckett's in there.
Okay, so we worry about
COVID.
COVID. So we don't worry about it when we stay in hotels because they have insane cleaning procedures, and we stay in hotels that we know.
Also, these hotels that we were at, there wasn't that many people staying there.
No.
So a lot of times, like in the videos, you may have seen that we didn't have a mask on whenever I'm shooting, but that's just because we keep our masks in our pocket, and then whenever we need it, we just pop it out and put it on the face if somebody else comes around.
We've been doing a lot of Airbnbs lately because then you stay in a house. We do houses where we get the entire house to ourselves. We kind of like to stay out in the middle of nowhere sometimes. We did that recently.
Yeah.
And so we don't have any issues there. That trip that we took to Texas was in June?
June.
So this was really the beginning of the pandemic. March is whenever school got out. We were kind of going crazy at home with our kids, and we just needed to get out and do something. So I mean, like we went to Galveston, we went to the beach. We did do some stuff. Like the caverns is you're in a cave, but they didn't have that many people in each tour.
And I think they were limiting how many people were in the tours.
Yeah,
too.
They were limiting the number of people on tour.
Because they were doing that at all the they were doing that at all the state parks too. We didn't really have much plans, and that's probably why we spent more in San Antonio. We didn't have plans for what we were going to do there. We just kind of went there, and we were like, okay, we're going to hit up this state park and this state park and this state park, and then we get there, and all of them were closed, and we weren't able to
buy ahead of time. And they were all booked.
Yes.
They were not booked when we left Louisiana, but by the time we drove to Texas and tried, everything was booked.
Yeah.
And so
that was one of the downfalls of the COVID while we were on this road trip is finding stuff to do.
And because we were traveling from Louisiana to Texas, we didn't know what the rules were. Every city is different. Some places kind of out in the middle of nowhere, the playgrounds were all open. Well, in San Antonio and Austin, none of the playgrounds were open, so our kids were super depressed. But in Galveston, the playgrounds were open.
Yeah, Flatonia.
Yeah, in Flatonia, Texas. We stopped and had lunch, and they had a great playground.
Yeah, they did.
So we had some mishaps, but we've pretty much been doing stuff outside.
Yeah.
We've been going fishing. We've been going to lots of state parks. When we went to Austin, we did lots of wading in the river.
Going to the beach.
So we're not like
going
to Disneyland.
We really went like to any indoor place that I can think of, right?
Like we haven't been to a science museum or like we stopped these little roadside attractions. There was pretty much no one there. We wear a mask whenever we're inside stores.
Right. So as far as, if we're worried about it, I think if you take certain precautions, but
we make our kids wash our hands before we eat anything.
Yeah.
Right,
Amelia, you have to wash your hands.
Nobody in our family has any nothing that makes us high risk.
Right.
I'm a public school teacher. Our kids go to public school. Honestly, the only person that like Lane and Beckett, because Lane works from home, they don't have contact with a ton of people. But I have a contact with like 1,000 people a day. Right. So traveling for us is not that big of a deal, but we're not irresponsible. And like I said, we're not going to like big places. Even the one theme park thing we kind of did. Where was that at? In Galveston.
That's coming up. Yeah.
Was outdoors.
Talk about that in just a minute. Yeah, it was all outdoors.
And so everybody's taking so many precautions that you can't really do anything.
And dangerous. Even at the theme park, whenever they, after people have ridden, they would go through and wipe down everything. Yeah, it was a whole rigmarole.
The only time we've ever gotten nervous was this trip we took for Thanksgiving. We literally went to the middle of nowhere in Texas with the intentions of going to a state park and going fishing. We just needed to get out of our house because nobody was doing family stuff for Thanksgiving. And we walk into a bowling alley that was packed, and we looked like morons because we were wearing our masks. And everybody just looked at us like we were crazy because we walked in wearing face masks, and I was like, I guess if everybody else, but I was really nervous the whole time we were there. I'm like, I guess they probably have really low numbers because they're a rural town,
middle of nowhere,
middle of nowhere. So that's the only time I've ever been nervous.
Yeah.
But we bowled without our mask on and enjoyed it.
And we were fine.
And we're fine. So. Kimberly asked if we stop at a Buc-ee's, and the answer is yes. Every single time we pass a Buc-ee's if we're in Texas, or a Busy Bee if we're in Florida, we stop.
So we stopped at the Buc-ee's in the longest car wash in the world, which we've talked about earlier in this live stream. But on our way to, I think it was on our way to Galveston, I wanted to stop at the biggest Buc-ee's, the biggest convenience store in the whole world, and Beckett was sleeping.
And I wouldn't let him.
Yeah. But that's okay, because we can always go back there. I'm sure we're going to drive through that area again.
All the time.
So that's one thing that I wanted to do on the trip that I didn't get to do. But we're going from Austin to Galveston.
With the intention of going to the beach.
Right. That's our intention, going to the beach. We got an Airbnb there that we stayed at. Do you want to tell everybody hi? Amelia wants to say hi. Mr. Al's in there. Do you want to tell Al hi?
Hi, Al.
So we went to, what is this? This is something else. I know what that is. Okay. In Galveston, our Airbnb, cost us, this one was actually the cheaper one out of the two. It was only $227, and that was a great little Airbnb. It wasn't as roomy as some of the other ones. Do you remember it? The one that had the upstairs?
One of our kids slept on an air mattress in the living room. One slept, because they only had one bedroom with a bed. So one kid slept on an air mattress. One kid slept on the couch. Beckett, we made a pallet on the floor.
We do that for Beckett everywhere we go.
And so it wasn't big, but we were staying at the beach for, way cheaper than we would have stayed in a hotel. We had a full kitchen. We were very close to the beach.
I walked to the beach every morning with Beckett to take a little walk to let Krista sleep. So that was great. We enjoyed that Airbnb. By the way, I think I have the link down in the description. If you guys are not a part of Airbnb, just go sign up. And if y'all use my link, you'll get a free credit. Can't remember. They changed the pricing amount every so often, but it's usually like $55 or something of it on your first stay. So if you want to get a free credit to Airbnb, and also if you're interested in the travel cards that we have, I have a link at the top of the chat right up here that I pinned. On our website, I kind of wrote up a little article about our story and the cards that we have right now, if y'all want to check that out as well. But whenever we were in Galveston...
That's a lot of receipts.
Yeah, we had a little more than we thought, huh?
Now, we also kind of went a little bit crazy because we were, stuck inside for so long.
Right.
And we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go again after we got back home. So.
And the tropical storm was hitting the day that we got there.
Right.
And so we didn't know if it was going to rain and whatnot.
Right.
Oh, Al, thanks for the $20. Appreciate that.
For Amelia.
It's for Amelia.
Buy a toy for you and Jacques to play with. For me, Leah, and Nikki. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thanks, Al.
$20.
We'll go buy you something. What you want to buy? You got to share it with Jacques. Think about it.
But it starts with an L and ends with an Eggo.
Really? Legos.
Did you ever mail that package to Leah?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Al, did y'all ever get that? I never heard back from you. We miss you guys. We miss y'all too. In an upcoming video, we went to North Carolina, and so we met up with Al. Y'all get to know Al in a few months. It takes me a while to get these edited. So while we were in Galveston, we stopped at a Kroger and we got some groceries.
That was like a taco.
You looking at it?
Yeah.
That was a $73 expense there to give you guys an idea for food on a family of 5. And then if you want to go through that and talk about food a little bit, I'm just going to kind of talk a little more.
Pizza. I made a pizza at night. And then we brought pizza to the beach for the kids the next day. That makes it really easy lunch. Like you bake a pizza in the oven, cut it up, throw it in the fridge, and then we go to the beach the next day. We just bring a Ziploc bag of leftover pizza. Everybody in our family likes cold pizza.
And we just eat meat and cheese, right?
Right. You and I would eat lunch meat and cheese. Yeah.
And veggies.
And the kids, it looks like the kids had like cereal and milk, ice cream, because we're at the beach.
You gotta have ice cream.
Yeah. Watermelon.
So then we did, one day we did Pleasure Pier, which is the pier amusement park. Amelia, did you like Pleasure Pier?
Oh, yes.
So that cost $80. That was probably the most expensive attraction that we did throughout this whole trip.
But you could, once you paid, you could go back
Throughout the entire day.
Lane and the kids went around lunchtime. And then Beckett took a nap and I stayed with him. And then when Beckett woke up from his nap, we went back and we stayed until dinner time. So, I mean, we got like a full day's worth of
Plus,
rides.
that morning, we went to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Right. So we did a whole beach morning. Then we went to Pleasure Pier. Then we came back to Pleasure Pier after Beckett's nap. So that was a fun day. We had a great time there. I think it was the kids. No, they went to Frontier City before. That was actually our first amusement park that was on a pier. So that was really cool.
But I mean, we would not have gone to an indoor thing.
I'm thinking like a Six Flags or Disney or something like that. We also spent $13 at Pleasure Pier. Do you remember what that was for?
Oh my gosh.
I'll let you tell that one.
The kids wanted to get like a little bit of candy in this candy shop. And I thought that it was like, it's called Lolly and Pops. And I thought it was something special because it sounds like something they have here in Louisiana. But it was not. It was just a candy store with overpriced candy. And I let the kids each get a small bag, and we check out, and $13 later.
For a small bag of candy.
Well, it was 3 small bags of candy, but it was definitely not. You know how much candy we could have got at the grocery store for $13?
Right, exactly.
We don't usually do things like that, and that was a mom mistake.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that day after Pleasure Pier, that night, we just had Chick-fil-A for dinner. Because
we stayed at Pleasure Pier until
they
dark.
Closed. Yeah, it was dark.
Yeah.
What's the time on here? Does it say? It's 7:50 p.m. We were leaving there. Becky goes to bed at 8 usually.
Yeah.
So that was
a late night for us.
That was a late night, $28 meal right there. Filled the whole family. That was good. And then right here, our last. Oh, we have 2 more receipts. We went and got gas. It's just a gas receipt, and then this is from the same gas station for $4. What's that?
It's probably snacks.
Probably snacks.
No, it might have been water. Sometimes I'll run into a gas station. That's another thing.
$4 water?
For
maybe like one of those big jugs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
Just trying to make her
$4 water and a candy bar.
Then the last expense that we have here is whenever we went to the beach in Galveston. It was a hot day. Do you know what this is?
Oh, we rented an umbrella.
An umbrella. So it was a super hot day, and Krista was like, "We either need to get an umbrella because it's just too hot, or we're just gonna go." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's figure out how much the umbrellas cost and whatnot." And my reasoning for this was that we could have picked up an umbrella for probably the price that we paid for this.
We didn't want
to have to haul it around and carry it around, so we may as well just rent it there and just not have to deal with that whole thing. So we rented an umbrella for $36. That we used for 2 hours, maybe.
It was a nice 2 hours.
It was a nice 2 hours.
Beckett really enjoyed the umbrella.
And we left 2 towels out there for him as well. Remember that?
Because if you're gonna come back, you can leave your umbrella and come back to it. And the guy said, just leave your towels so that we know that you're coming back. Mm-hmm. And then we went to Pleasure Pier for 6 hours.
Right. We were having more fun at Pleasure Pier to go back and get 2 towels that we really didn't matter for us. So that's the extent of that trip. I have everything tallied up right. I want to know down in the comments below how much you guys think this trip cost, because I've tallied everything because I need that for business expenses and whatnot. But I'm curious to know. And also, just to give you guys an idea of some of these credit cards that we have used throughout the years that we've started using this, ever since we became debt-free using the Dave Ramsey Total Money Makeover. I remember listening to his radio show one day, and there was a guy on there who called in, and he was like, I use credit cards, and you can get points to be able to get rewards for as long as you pay off the credit card every month, and you don't get any interest or added credit card fees and all that type of stuff. And Dave Ramsey was, he had to stick to his guns and be like, that's not my thing. I don't do credit cards, blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, it just clicked with me, and that made sense to me. And I kind of started just looking into travel hacking and how to travel on a budget and whatnot. And that's whenever I really got into these travel credit cards. And there's been a couple of things with Dave Ramsey that I don't 100% agree on, and that's one of the things right there, because we've created so many family memories that we possibly would not have been able to create because we decided to do this.
But also, we should preface that we went a lot of years with never touching a credit card
and not traveling. And
we started traveling again. We just paid for it cash. We'd have a budget, and that's how we pay for it. But
But while we were paying off our debt, we didn't travel.
Not at all.
Unless it was like a local state park.
What I'm trying to get at is that we didn't start travel hacking with cards until we knew we were going to be incredibly responsible, and there was no way that we would ever go into debt. And we definitely had enough money to cover what we were spending.
In fact, if you click the link on the top of the chat there and goes to our website, there's a section of the website where I think I put advice, and I kind of spell out like, this is how you should do this. Make sure to pay it off every month. Make sure it doesn't have fees. You know, make sure that you are not carrying a balance so that you don't get interest and all that type of stuff. Make sure you're being financially responsible with your credit cards. That's the biggest thing I have to say if you're going to get into this. Because otherwise, if you're not going to do that, then you're just going to get interest. And that defeats the purpose of getting the points, because the interest is going to overpower what you would save on the hotel points. So we started off, like I said earlier, with this choice privilege card, and that got us. We really
like Choice Hotels.
Yeah, they just what I like about them too is that there's a ton of choice brands. Like hotels, I didn't realize this until I got into this as well. Like there's a hotel chain, but then there's all these other hotel brands that go along with that chain. Like Choice Hotels is not just Choice; it's Quality Inns, Clarions, Econo Lodge. I can't read Roadway Inn. Can't read some of these other ones. Mainstay Suites. That's the one that we stayed in.
What was that one?
That's the Roadway Inn. And then there's a few others, Comfort Suites and all that. So and I found this out too with Hilton and Marriott, that they own a whole bunch of other hotel brands as well. This one I got from a business trip. It's a Spirit Airlines. That's for airplane flights, but we have 30,000 points that we can use with that. I got this because I needed to book a flight, and they said, hey, you can have $100 off if you get this if you get this card, and we'll give you 30,000 points, which is.
So we have 30,000 hotel points?
No, this is airline points.
Oh, well,
on
we
that
don't
one.
fly anywhere.
Right. I'm keeping it for a business if I have to take a business trip somewhere.
Okay.
And then go to Hawaii someday.
You want to go to Hawaii?
Yes.
And then these other 4 cards right here that we use are all just different hotel brands. This is Marriott, which is one of our favorites. Hilton, not a favorite, but still a good hotel that you can stay at.
We almost always stay in the Home to Suites.
Yeah, the home, because they're big
enough for all of our kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we haven't used this one yet. This is IHG, which they own. Holiday Inn is kind of their budget hotel and the one that everybody knows. But there's a whole bunch of other brands that are a part of their collection that we really actually need to go look at. And this right here is the Chase Sapphire, is the all-around a good travel card. So like whenever I'm not trying to get points on a card, I use this card for our expenses so that we can just continually accrue points, because this you can use at pretty much any hotel brand.
Even like local bed and breakfast.
Local bed and breakfast, airlines. If you ever need to get a rental car if you're flying somewhere. There's even certain, like you can go onto their website, and the stuff that you've bought through the card, you can go and cancel out some of those expenses that they think are part of the travel expenses or just card expenses.
Like gas and stuff.
Like gas. Yeah. I think even like, I was looking at it one time for that San Antonio trip, the popsicles we got, that was covered underneath. I don't know if they consider that like a restaurant or whatever.
Right.
But that's been one kind of game changer for us in the past couple of years that we've really started doing, is these hotel cards. And if you guys, like I said, want to check that out, I'll put the link. It's up here, or I'll put it in the description below. But that is our Texas trip. Coming up in January, we're going to have our entire Florida trip. We took a 12-day Florida trip, and we tried to do it for under $500. So if you guys want to see those videos, we got a couple of hacks that we didn't share in this video that I want to go into whenever we come do our live stream for that trip. We'll do that at the end of that, but there's a couple other things that we can discuss there. So make sure to click that subscribe button, hit the bell too. You want to ring the bell a minute?
Yes.
So that you get notified of our videos. Thank y'all for watching. And we'll see y'all, let's see, for what's the next video? I think it might be Beckett's birthday video. Are y'all excited for that? All right, bye y'all.
Bye.